I was doing a set and I had the comic text me afterward actually, and they were like, "Nice set." And I was like, "Thanks." It should have ended there, but then he was like, I couldn't pay attention. Basically, I was like distracted by your cat emoji.
Welcome to Dating Yapps, the podcast where we swap wild dating stories, share laughs, and serve up real talk experiences and advice. So let's get into it. Hello, and welcome back to Dating Yapps, the podcast where we overshare so you don't have to. I'm your host, Alex Daly, and today I am joined by the hilarious and fabulous Lauren Ingeno. She is a stand-up comedian. I've seen her set. It's been so much fun. She talks a lot about her dating life, so I know that her dating life is just as spicy as her punchlines, and we're going to dive into some of her stories and experiences today and how sometimes real life experiences make for comedy gold. I'm excited to get into it. So welcome to the pod, Lauren.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Excited to have you here. So I thought we would kick things off with a little game to warm us up. We'll play Would You Rather. I'll give you a couple of different options and you can tell me what you would pick. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Okay, would you rather be ghosted after a great first date or get bombarded with texts after going on just one date with someone?
I want to say ghosted. I'm very pro ghosting.
Oh yeah, say more.
I mean, I guess that assumes it was, yeah, I mean, if it's between ghosting or like getting a breakup text, I'd rather just like assume that you died or something.
Yeah.
Rather than have to like hear the rejection. The bombarding texts, is this assuming I liked the person?
Yeah. Let's say you had a decent time and then they're just like blowing up your phone the next day.
I think I'd still get ghosted. I really hate like a lot of texting, so
Yeah.
I'd rather just not hear from you.
I'm kind of with you there, especially
Yeah.
when it's like, how's your day? What are you doing? I had a salad for lunch. You're like, okay.
Yeah. It feels like admin.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't want to do that admin, so.
All right, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so next one. Would you rather date someone who is best friends with their ex or someone who calls their mom mommy?
Fine with mommy. I don't know if that's like an Italian thing. Yeah, I don't really, I mean, I guess it would be weird. I wouldn't want him talking to me and saying like my mommy. I think that would be
Yeah.
strange, but like my mom talking to me will be like, "Oh, daddy said." Yeah, I don't know. I don't find it that weird. And I can't deal with the friends with the ex, so definitely mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Is that
You're
weird?
you're here. No, I mean it's personal preference for sure. I don't I get weirded out by mommy, but I mean if that's in your
Whatever.
sphere already, then it's not weird.
Yeah.
Okay. So would you rather date someone whose entire personality is liking sports, which there's a lot of that, or would you date someone who posts on TikTok 3 times a day?
I think I gotta go sports. Yeah, I would rather you have no social media presence. So 3 times a day is a lot.
It is, yeah. I agree. And sports are fun. They bring people together.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
It's kind of gold to find someone who doesn't have social media.
Yes, I
Yeah.
look for that.
Okay, last one, because you are a comedian. Would you rather go on a date with someone who doesn't get your jokes or someone who thinks that they are the funniest person in the room?
I think neither. Like they're both so bad. Yeah. If I had to choose, I guess I really don't know. I think they're both so bad. I guess thinking they're the funniest person, but that would get annoying real quick. But if they also thought I was funny, that could probably be tolerable.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, this is great. This will just segue right into our next segment because I would love to know a little bit about your dating life in a nutshell, the past, present, where you are right now. And, since we were just talking about comedy, like, do you date other comedians? Do you like to meet someone who is also funny, or do you want to be the funnier one in the relationship?
Yeah. Okay, that's a lot. Yeah, dating. I mean, I've been in both like been in relationships, dated a lot, used apps, not used apps. Yeah, I've been like on and off apps for like 10 years, which is like kind of embarrassing to admit. But yeah, I was like back in the OK Cupid days in DC. Did you ever use OK Cupid?
I have not. Tell me about it.
It was so much better. It was like you took a quiz and you saw like it was like a million questions and the questions were like kind of insane. And then you got like a percentage. So you saw all the people you could like possibly date, I guess, and then like match percentages.
Oh, like compatibility. You're
Yeah.
like 89%. Yeah. Okay,
Right.
cool.
Yeah, you didn't have to swipe, which was nice. They were all just kind of like presented to you.
Mm.
And then you would message back and forth, but it was a lot more like emails. Like people would write like paragraphs. So yeah, it was just I felt like you like kind of got to know people better.
Yeah, I kind of like this. Why don't they bring it
I
back?
know, bring it back. Does it exist anymore? I feel
I don't
like
know.
I guess not. That would be weird. No, it was great. I really liked it. It was very like MySpace-esque. It was like having a MySpace and everybody saw it. But yeah, so used that. I was living in DC, moved to Philly. Have dated like a lot of different kinds of people. Comedy. Yeah, I've like gone out with comedians. I definitely want a partner who's funny, but not necessarily a comedian. I don't know. Sometimes
Mhm.
I'm like comedians are narcissists and like who would ever do that? Yeah, I think I like more like a quiet funny, like someone who's gonna like whisper something in my ear, kind of like sarcastic and doesn't need to be like the center of attention.
Mhm.
More like a shy guy. But
Someone
yeah,
who may appreciate going to a comedy show, but like not standing
yeah,
up there on the mic.
right. Yeah, I don't, I feel like since doing comedy, dating is like more difficult for sure. And at least it seems like male comics kind of like understand you better. And it's like,
Mhm.
you can kind of, comedy has become like a big part of my life. So I think it is hard for like non-comics to kind of like understand that, I guess. Yeah. So there's like pros and cons.
Yeah. Yeah. So where are you in your dating life now? Are you single? Are you actively dating? Are you taking a break? Are you seeing people?
Yeah, I'm dating.
So you're actively out and about in the world.
Yes.
Okay, so I know you mentioned something that you really like to have little romances and flings when you travel. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I would highly recommend this. I would highly recommend women travel solo, especially abroad. I think it's just like fun. And I feel like whenever I'm kind of like feeling down on anything, but dating, especially like after a breakup or something, I always just like book a flight. But yeah, I feel lucky. Like every time I travel, I end up meeting people, friends, romances, whatever. And like I've had a lot of like weekend boyfriends. So
Yes.
yeah. Yeah, I
Okay.
think
So
it's
you travel, you book the flight, you're going by
right.
yourself. Do you like
Mhm.
fire up the apps when you get to your destination, or do you just like sit at a sidewalk cafe and like sort of look cute?
Both. Yeah, I've definitely met a lot of people in bars. I think if you're like an American sitting alone at a bar, especially it's nice to find like expat bars.
Mhm.
Yeah, if people kind of like come to you. I have also used dating apps in other countries, which is like has also been fun. But yeah, both ways. I feel like it's just like easier to meet people. It's easier for me to meet people. I'm like more open. Yeah, I'm a lot more likely to just like talk to someone in a bar.
Yeah. Well, because like I guess like it doesn't matter. Like there's really no long-term consequences because you're like, well, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna see this person again, you know?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I just think it's fun, like, especially to meet someone in like their own country and they can like show you around. It's such like an obvious conversation starter, like, I'm here for this long, what should I do? And they're like, oh, like I'll take you to blah blah. So
Yeah,
yeah, that I would like highly recommend that.
I love that.
Safety. I don't know. I've never had any like unsafe experiences, but I guess that could happen.
Yeah. Where were some of the places that you really enjoyed visiting?
I really like Barcelona. It's a great place, and like a lot of, I think anywhere you go where there's like a lot of foreigners is fun because like either like there's a lot of people. Obviously, there's a lot of Barcelonians, and they don't especially love tourists, but
Yeah.
there's expats, like people from around Europe and Australia, like living in Barcelona. Mexico is really fun. Yeah, all around Europe. Portugal, I stayed in a hostel and I was like definitely the oldest person ever. I think I lied to everyone on the first night. I told them I was like 21, and then by like day three, I like let it slip. I was like 33. They're like, wait. But it was so fun. Like everyone there was like traveling solo. We all went out together. Like, it was just, yeah, it was super fun. So,
Yeah, you just get like a little fresh energy from being
yeah.
somewhere new. Yeah, totally. I can see that. I've never done that though. I haven't done a lot of solo travel. What made you like get into that?
I studied abroad. I went to London when I was like in college, and it was just so nice. Like I went to Penn State, which never really felt right. Like I always wanted to be in a city. I was like, oh man, I'm like in the middle of nowhere. Football it was like wasn't really me.
Mhm.
And then I went to London and it was like all these people from like around the world and like this big city. This is awesome. Yeah, I feel like after that, I always just kind of vowed to myself that I would just like keep going. And when I travel with other people, like it's fun, but you meet less people sometimes.
Yeah, totally. Because you're just like in your own little bubble. But like if you're by yourself, you're maybe more open to other people around you.
Yeah, I feel like when you're with friends, it's more like a vacation, which is really fun. But when you're alone, you have to like solve problems. And I found like a lot of times you like need people's help, right? Like something happens or like your like hostel sucks and you need to like find someone with a laptop. So it's just like a way to kind of like quickly bond with people. But yeah, you should do it. It's so fun. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm
Well,
broke, but anytime I have like the littlest bit of money, I was like, well, I'll just go somewhere. So yeah.
sometimes it's worth it. I feel like I heard some quote that's like travel is the only thing that you can buy that will make you richer.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, totally. I mean, I've never regretted like going on a trip for sure.
Yeah. No, it sounds super fun. Yeah, I have so many questions. So, going on when you're meeting people abroad, do you feel like it's like a date or is it more just like you bumped into them at the bar and now you go to the next place with them?
Yeah, I think it depends. I mean, if you meet people on dating apps, obviously that feels more like date-like, but um, sometimes it feels like, oh, this person is like my boyfriend, which is like delusional, but it is kind of fun. Like it's kind of not weird to spend like 48 hours with someone, for some reason.
And then do you ever like stay in touch with them or is it like you'd never
Yeah.
see them again and they just vanish or like what how do you
Yeah,
leave?
I have a lot of like my friends make fun of me. Like I'm on WhatsApp, like open up my WhatsApp. It's kind of just like a line of like I don't know, like people I maybe have hooked up with or haven't, but they're just friends now, and you keep in touch. And yeah, I mean now, like it's precarious time to be in America, so I'm like going through my Rolodex, like, can
Like
I marry you? But yeah, I have like I said, like both men and women. I've met a lot of people and like yeah, definitely stay in touch. And it's easier to stay in touch too because like you never really have to break up, right? Like
oh nice to meet you. What a fun weekend.
yeah,
Bye.
I know. Which I mean, I have made the mistake. I don't know if it's a mistake, but I have like gone back. I have gotten on a plane for a man, and maybe that's not always the best.
Like someone that you met at another location and then you went back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds more romantic than sometimes in practice.
The reality.
Yeah, I think I want. Have you seen like the Before Sunrise trilogy?
Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah, we watched that. I feel like that had like a profound effect on me as a child, and
Okay.
um, it's like two people meeting in Vienna, and then they meet up like 10 years later, and then yeah, it's just like
Sounds
kind of
romantic.
yeah, it can be fun, but also yeah, I'm not as like no strings attached as I make myself sound.
Well, I mean, you sound like you are out there in the world having fun, which sounds great to
Yeah.
me.
Okay, good.
So I'm curious if you have any fun dating stories. Do you have like a worst date that comes to mind?
Man, yeah, I was trying to think of this. I've had like a good share of bad dates. One time in DC, he suggested like a walk around the monuments, which is a terrible, I think any like thing you can't escape on a first date is never good. So it was like, middle of the day on a Sunday, and we were like walking and we had like nothing to talk about. But you're kind of just stuck because if you're like in the monuments in DC, you're like, there's like nothing else around.
Yeah.
And then he like wanted to get lunch. I don't know. It just ended up being this like 3 hour date of just walking.
And meanwhile, you're just like not into him.
Not into him. I think he talked a lot about like being on like the keto diet at the
Oh
time.
no.
Also, everyone in DC, you were either like a consultant or you had some like kind of weird government job. I think he was like, I don't know, like, I don't know, like doing kind of weird stuff. I think we were probably politically not aligned. Um,
Yeah.
and then like he was like, "Do you want to get lunch?" And I was like, "Oh my God, well I am hungry." And then, he got like a huge meal. I think I got like a beer and we like split the bill. I don't know. That was like a bad one. I think from then on, I was like, I'm never going on a first date that isn't like a drink.
Yeah. Sometimes we need that liquid courage.
Yeah. So that was bad. I did have a guy leave me in the middle of a date once. He told me this makes me look bad, but he wasn't a great person anyway, but he was like in his late 30s and he told me he like wanted to be a firefighter. And I said, aren't you a little old for that? Like, and he got really mad. And he was like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And then he came out of the bathroom and he's like, I'm gonna go. And I was like,
Oh no. Wow.
so I probably shouldn't have said that, but I
He was like,
was
this
just
person is.
curious. So I was like, I didn't know you could become a firefighter when you're 39, but I'm sure you can. I think I just was like kind of poking at him, but
Well, he couldn't take the joke, I guess.
I know, yeah, yeah. So that was not a match.
Yeah, clearly. Yes. Actually, like you saying DC reminds me of when I saw your stand up at the last like Lady Laughs show. I feel
Uh-huh.
like you mentioned something about like people think that you look like a politician or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I started to lean into that. I think when I started doing comedy, like you become very aware of like how people perceive you, which is like kind of a jarring experience. Like I feel like I've developed social anxiety now because I'm always like, what do you think of me? Yeah, I think maybe other comics just thought I was kind of polished or like thought I was maybe even like a little snobby or like whatever. And I was like, I'm just gonna lead into this. So like at an open mic, I was like, I don't know, people think I have like congresswoman energy, and everyone thought it was hilarious. So I was like, I guess it's true. Like, I don't even totally know what it means, but people seem to agree. And I am like, I'm into politics. And then when Kamala was running, like, I think I do resemble her in some ways,
I feel
and
like you could do a Kamala impression. Like I now that you're saying it, I'm like, yeah, I can see that.
yeah, so I kind of leaned into that. I was like, "Hey, I'm Kamala Harris." So yeah, that's just like become a thing that is like kind of funny. But yeah, I used to live in DC. And one of my jokes is like I would come home, like people I went to high school with would be like, "Yeah, like Washington DC, like that." Like they all thought I was like a politician, I think. So yeah, that's become part of my shtick.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's so funny. Yeah, so curious how much of your dating life or even just like bits of your real life do end up in your stand up.
I mean, yeah, like everything in my stand up is true to some extent. Like, obviously maybe elevated or like I'll take something someone said here and something here and kind of like mash it together. But pretty much everything I say is based in some level of truth. I would never talk about like someone I'm currently dating or even someone I was in a relationship with. It's a lot of times like a one off or like someone I no longer talk to, or I change it enough that like you wouldn't recognize it. So yeah, but
Right.
a lot of truth.
Yeah, I mean, because like dating can be pretty funny, right? Like people are just giving you material. So I think it would be hard to not use some of that.
Yeah.
But also, you want to be respectful, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, I think I talk maybe about dating too much and I'm sure I have other things to talk about. But it is kind of just like so perfect. Like everything is funny. And yeah, I mean, I like hearing about other people's dating lives.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm like, that's just sort of interesting to me. So maybe it would be interesting to other people. But
Yeah, it is kind of like a universal experience. Like most people
yeah.
have been on dates, so they know. And it's like dating is so awkward. You want to laugh at it. Like, let's make it funny, you know?
Yeah, I think it's just like something to relate to people. Like I've had like women come up to me after shows and being like, "Oh my God, like, that happened to me." And I'm like, "Oh, like I think that's like what I like about comedy is just talking about the things that maybe people don't talk about, but
Yeah.
everyone has experience."
Yeah. So, have you ever had anyone like recognize themselves in your material?
I don't think so. I definitely have a clip on my Instagram that is like word for word what someone said to me. And he follows me. And I think he has definitely seen it, but we don't talk anymore. I just know that like he like watches stories and stuff. So
Yeah.
I'd always be interested to know if he realizes that that's him.
That's so
No,
interesting. And he didn't reach out to say like,
no.
"Hey."
No, no. That would be funny if he did. Yeah, I feel like I said, like enough time had passed,
Mhm.
and it wasn't like I didn't feel like I had to like run it by him because
Yeah.
we were like not in each other's lives. But I always thought it'd be interesting if he, yeah,
I mean,
maybe
I
even
guess it
remember.
depends on yeah, it depends on what is being said, but I do think it would almost be kind of flattering to have someone make material out of you, you know? You're like, "Oh, I made an impression."
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was in one person's joke, and it is like a weird experience. I don't like it. Like I wouldn't want
You didn't like it.
that. No, I mean it's fine.
Did you
And
think
like
it was funny?
I did. And it
Okay,
wasn't
good.
like I think as long as it's not like I try to make the butt of every joke like me, you know,
Yeah.
like I'm never trying to like make fun of another person
Yeah.
because I don't think that's funny anyway.
Right.
So I think anything, yeah, is ultimately like making fun of myself. So if someone was making a joke and they were ultimately making fun of themselves through me,
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
totally. So, is there a favorite moment that comes to mind of any dating drama that became a part of your comedy?
Yeah. What am I allowed to say on here? Am I allowed to say?
Anything you want.
Okay. So I sort of had two things that happened separately, and then I turned them into a joke. The one was I was doing a set and I had like a comic text me afterward actually and they were like nice set and I was like thanks. It should have ended there, but then he was like, I couldn't pay attention. Basically, I was like distracted by your cat emoji. And I and it like really freaked me out. It really bothered me and I remember being like, do I have a fat pussy? Like is this something I have to worry about? And I was trying to write a joke like basically like calling out this comic and being like, why is he looking? And like stuff and it like wasn't really working. And then I had a separate experience where I was hooking up with someone and he basically was like, I don't know what he was trying to do, but he was basically like rubbing the like bottom of my stomach and like I was like, this is weird. So then I kind of took those two instances of like, this guy couldn't find my clit. I have been told that I have a fat pussy, not that fat. So I don't know. I was always kind of like proud of that because I was like just taking these two kind of embarrassing experiences.
Yeah. Also, what a wild thing for that guy to message you about your set. You're like, wait, like you're probably like, what was I wearing? Like,
Really, yeah, I've never worn yoga pants again while doing comedy. Yeah,
wow.
those are the things I guess women have to worry about. Yeah.
Truly,
Yeah,
truly.
weird. Yeah. I was been thinking about making more jokes about that. Like, he's like, you're always like worried about what you look like, but it's like the things you don't even think of. I'm like, oh, now I have to worry about that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Let's just add it to the list.
Right. Yeah. So,
Well, that's why we like the Lady Laugh shows because it's
yeah.
a supportive audience, like mostly women. It's just a good time. I really enjoyed seeing you there.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm curious, since you are actively dating, if you have a go to piece of advice for someone who is also in the dating trenches.
Yeah, I think solo travel. For sure. Just to like get out of your own head and like
Mhm.
yeah, I think it's just like good practice, right? Of like meeting, remembering how to meet people. And
Yeah,
it's like, oh, I want to meet people in real life. It's like that's kind of like a built-in way to do it.
it's a skill, I think, that like
Yeah.
we don't practice often enough because everybody's like buried in their phones. It's like you want to sort of like be more out in the world, but you gotta just like try it.
Yeah, you like have to talk to people. But it is hard. I mean, it's hard in Philly to be like at a bar and like I don't know, I don't do that. So
Yeah.
I can't
I guess
knock
it's
anybody
like
else.
it's easier when you're in a location where you're like, I'm not gonna see these people again.
Yeah, I think just like putting yourself in situations where you kind of naturally meet people or even doing comedy. I mean, it's kind of just a way to like build community and like not only meeting other comedians, but like audience and like just being at bars. And I think you just like have to like leave your house, which sucks.
Unless you wanna like date the Uber Eats guy.
Yeah, well, yeah, anything's possible. Yeah, and also, I mean, I don't know if this is good advice, but like I have actually met people while on dates with other people. So I think again, especially if it's like a first date with like someone from an app, like you can be like, "Oh my God, I have to like meet this stranger or whatever." But just think of it as like a night out.
Mhm.
Okay, you're gonna like go to a bar, there'll like be people there, like maybe he has friends or whatever. So yeah, I think just like I don't know. It sounds lame and also like I don't
Oh, I
follow.
don't think it's lame. I think you're like putting yourself out there, keeping your energy open to new experiences. I hear it.
Yeah, like don't be so jaded. I think like app dating can do that. It just feels like you're going on a bunch of like job interviews, which sucks.
Mhm.
So just feel like, oh, I'm like going out tonight and like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that is an interesting question because I feel like it gets recommended a lot that like going to a comedy show is a good date. Do you feel like that's a good date? Like going to see comedy with someone?
I think it's like a telling date. I don't think it's a good first date.
Yeah.
Like you're not I mean it's kind of like watching a movie. Like you're not talking. I think it could be a good like second or third date and like you can kind of be like, "Oh, like what's that person laughing at or not laughing
Yeah.
at?" I think it's like a good way to kind of like quickly get to know someone. I would not be on a first date like sitting in the front
Front
row
row. Yeah.
show and then the comic's like, how do you two know each other? And it's kind of easy to become heckled. So if you want to avoid all embarrassment, I would not go to a comedy show for a first date. But
Yeah. Or at least strategically sit in the back or something.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. One time this is insane. I can't believe I did this, but I brought someone to an open mic. I mean, I've done this like later on, but it was like a first date, and the date wasn't going that well. And I was like, "Oh, I have to go to this open mic, like it's around the corner." And he was like, "Oh, like I could come." I was like, "Okay." So he came to the mic, and that was just embarrassing. I think the host was like, "Oh, who here like isn't a comic?" Because it's like kind of rare to, not to be a civilian at an open mic, and he like
Right.
shoots his hand up and she's like, "Oh, why are you here?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm on a first date." And she was like, "Oh my God." Like, and then she was like, "Wait, you're a comic?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "I don't know. It was too much." So definitely don't bring your first date to an open mic. I don't
That is bold, I will say. That is very bold.
know. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, well, what's keeping you hopeful these days about dating and love?
Oh, what's keeping me hopeful? I don't know. I meet cool people. It's fun. I went to a good friend's wedding recently and I really like admire her and her now husband's relationship. I think they're like really good friends and a lot of laughter.
It's possible. It's possible.
It's possible, yeah. I mean, yeah. So, yeah, I think there are good people out there to me. It's not like all trash, as
I agree.
we like to say. Yeah.
I agree. I think like yeah, sometimes you just got to reframe things. It's like
Yeah.
if you are out there like saying dating is trash, then you're probably going to have a bad time. But if you're like, I'm
Yeah.
going to go out and have a drink and it's going to be fun, you might
Literally.
have fun.
You might have fun. Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Lauren, this has been so fun. Where can people find you?
You can follow me on Instagram at Lauren Ingeno. And yeah, I post about shows and stuff there. I have a newsletter. I hardly ever, I have been writing a lot less, but that's on my Instagram. You can subscribe to that. But I write a lot, some stuff about dating and it's kind of like a diary type
Great.
thing. So yeah,
I'm going to have to go sign up right now.
do it.
Great. Well, Lauren, thank you so much for coming on and yapping with me.
Thank you. It was fun.
Yay. And thank you everyone for listening. If you enjoyed this, if it made you laugh, send it to a friend and leave us a little review if you're feeling kind. But I appreciate you all. And until next time, we'll talk to you later, friends.